Okay, so welcome to this week's Fife Property Market Update. This is the week ending the 11th of September, so that's the 5th of September. It started just a week ago to yesterday, the 11th of September, and that's where we're looking at the property market. So this is giving you an update. So what I'm going to talk about is the update in the property market. A couple of vlogs and blogs we did, a question an actual seller or a potential seller actually put to us during the week, and we're going to answer it live just now. And also what's coming to the market, what's sold, and then we'll finally finish off at the end of this. So let's take a look at the property market as of last week. This gives us a strong indication about where everything is in terms of where the market's going, where it's going to project to. Are we continuing to going to be in a boom market? Are we continuing to going to be in a slower market? Is it going to peter out? Is it going to level off? So this gives you a good indication on a week-by-week basis, collated to a month-by-month basis, collated to a 6 monthly to a yearly basis. So last week in the Cooper market, there was 9 properties instructed by all the estate agents. There was 13 properties actually went under offer and sold. So you can see there straight away, demand is outstripping supply. In East Neuk area was 3 versus 3. It's a stable market. It's really a boom market, to be honest, because there's an extremely limited supply in the East Neuk area. St Andrews, 4 came onto the market. 9 actually sold and went under offer. Now, this is the first time in St Andrews in a long time going more demand, significantly more demand than what's actually coming onto the market. You typically see the St Andrews market with probably double that figure coming on every week. So that's quite a difference this week. Levenmouth market, 11 came on, 10 sold. Dunfermline, 41 versus 48. Glenrothes, 12 versus 12, no surprise. Glenrothes market is pretty buoyant. Kirkcaldy market, 30 versus 37. Overall, right throughout Fife, every single estate agent put on 110 properties last week, and 132 properties went under offer and sold. Now, that's a change from last week, because last week it was the other way around, so it's basically leveled itself out. So we could probably say that we've still got round about 500 properties on the market right through Fife, whereas over pre-pandemic level, we were about 1,200 properties on the market, and we still have a significant amount of people still chasing property all the time. Instantly, Anne asked me last week about, what should you be paying over the asking price or over the home report value to secure a property. Our friend actually took that advice and did bid significantly over. Actually, I think it was 15%. You could maybe correct me on that, Anne. And they still never got it. So that shows you where the market is just now in terms of what you need to do over the home report value in order to secure the property. I spoke to someone else on Friday actually about this, and we actually concluded in this conversation that the Fife market is just a recalibration of where the prices should have been in the first place, because Fife has actually significantly been subdued for the past probably 10 years. It's not significantly increased. It's only increased around about 4 to 6% over the last 10 years, and it should have probably been a wee bit more. So we think that Fife is actually now beginning to recalibrate with the rest of the UK. So this brings me on to selling. So we did a vlog yesterday, a show yesterday about move by Christmas. Yep, you've only got around about 100 days before Christmas is upon us. Basically, a little over 14 weeks to get something done. If you're looking to move before Christmas, you probably need to do something now. You need to get your house in the market. You need to get it under offer, because typically the conveyancing process with solicitors take round about probably about 2 to 3 months at the very most. On a good day, that's how buoyant it is. I mean, the system is overwhelmed with the number of properties going through, and the restricted supply of every single job job position is actually shortage in supply in terms of skills, because people had actually gone away and done something else in pre-pandemic levels, and actually retrained for something else. Now they're happy there. They don't want to come back to an existing skill, and that's what's putting a shortage in supply, I think, on a temporary measure over probably the next year until everything settles back out and we get back on track again. So this talked about move before Christmas, sell your house and be in your place by the end of 2021. It talked about how picking an agent with a plan. So we went through this in finer detail in the show. You can read the blog. I mean, the blog basically takes 4 minutes, but the show itself actually took, it was the 4 of us. It was myself, it was Perry McIntosh, it was Aaron Cunningham, it was Jimmy Mullen. We're all estate agents talking about what you should be doing in terms of picking an agent with a plan and everything involved in that, creating a sense of urgency and what advice to give you on that, lining up potential homes to make sure you're ready and in a position to do something, and also how to speed up the process of the mortgage applications, the removals, the solicitor, everything you can do on all these finer details and points to compound over the end. At the end of the day, if you look at all these different things that we talked about and actually just make 1% improvement on every single one, you've probably made an over 20% improvement compounded at the end to the overall result that you'll get with your house sale itself. So it's worth taking on that advice and looking at that. So this brings me on to my question of the week. This was Susan that asked this question. So thanks very much for asking it, Susan. After we had done Move by Christmas, Susan said, okay, say sell your house, but where would you go? That's really what she asked. Say sell your house, but where would I go? So my advice to most people is, yeah, you can put your house in the market. You can manage the sale. And by what I mean by managing the sale is we make it quite clear to the prospective buyers that there is a other condition. It's not just about the price of the property, it's also about the move-in date. So, for example, one of my clients actually spoke to him on Friday and said, look, I want to move after Christmas and New Year, so in early 2022. So we've actually stipulated that as one of the conditions. So when somebody inquires about the property, we'll briefly tell people, okay, great stuff, you've inquired about it, but the entry date will be other side of the year. So if you're looking to get in before Christmas, it might not be that occasion. There might be an occasion where if you make someone an offer they can't refuse, they might actually say okay. But this then brings me back to making an offer you can't refuse. So this also gives me the insight into say to Susan, if somebody makes you an offer you can't refuse, and it's significantly more than you did expect in the first place, then it gives you the luxury of potentially moving out earlier and actually securing in your journey that goal you had predicted earlier. It also gives you extra money to then go and rent a place, and actually that money would actually pay for the rental of that property. Therefore, you're no better or no worse off than you were before. You might slightly be better off because then when your new house comes along, you might actually get it. But there is also you run the risk of the fact that you then take yourself off the property ladder. And if prices are predicted to keep going up and up and up and up, if you don't then secure a property before a significant amount of time, then potentially your money is proportionally less than what it was because the value of your property doesn't go up because you don't have it any longer. So your offer has to be a good offer that you can't afford to refuse in order to pay for all that extra time that you might be in rented accommodation, if that is the case. Otherwise, you make it quite clear to an existing buyer it's coming in to look at your property, and we make that quite clear anyway to them, as I said before, that it's not going to be this side of 2021. It will be 2022 when that person moves. We actually have a client as well. It's August 2022, and we have 2 people already are actually in agreement with that. They're quite happy to do that entry date. Now that's 12 months away, but that suits their personal circumstances because they're quite unique. We also have people looking into new builds, going into new builds that have got entry dates of March next year and June next year. And they've went under offer and we've managed to secure the buyer. It falls in line with these entry dates. So there is people out there that will agree to that to make sure they get the house of their dreams. After all, would you be prepared to wait 6 months, for example, to secure the house of your dreams? Absolutely, I would. Okay, so hopefully that'll answer your question, Susan. And thank you very much for asking it. So let's talk about the next vlog we did, and it's on the links on here as well. And we haven't done a show about this, but we probably will. This is about Fife Homes asking prices up 5%. Now, and St Andrews is up 24%, Cooper's up 5%, East Neuk is down 36%. Now, before you get frightened about that, what I mean about the asking prices, it's based on Rightmove's asking prices. In other words, it just means there's a different mix of property prices come onto the market in the month that it's down 36% from the month before. So in other words, you maybe had a £400,000 property on last month, but now it's a £300,000 property. So therefore, you're 25% down on the asking price for last month. It's not the price of the value of the property or the offer anybody's making on the property. It's only the fact of the mix of the properties on the market coming on that period of point in time. Glenelith's down 1%, Leven's down 1% as well. So it shows you there's a healthy mix. St Andrews is up, East Neuk a wee bit different as well. And this all then stems me into, if you read the article itself, it's a 3-minute article. Some of the key points in that though, 1 in 7.4 homes already on the market today have reduced their asking price in the last 2 weeks. That tends to be the ramifications from the London market and down south. There's a knock-on effect. And you tend to find that London actually has a reflection later on of what could be happening in the whole of the UK. But what I would say about London is the second homeowners from abroad and foreign investors is quite rife there. And they're all getting now legislation and tax put on them for buying in this country. So that might actually be putting a lot of people off in the London area. They might be exiting the market for that reason. Interestingly enough, there are currently 285,970 properties on the market for sale in the UK, which means 1 in 67 British homeowners are presently on the market. Now, it's interesting compared to in 2005, when it was 1 in 13.5 homeowners on the market. So 2005 was actually in the peak before the credit crunch, and 1 in 13.5 homeowners were on the market, 1 in 13.5. Now it's only 1 in 67. So it means it's almost 5 times less than what it is in the run up to the credit crunch. So it means there's a huge restriction in supply still, and I think that will continue to go on. So if you want to have a read of that article, please do. It also talks about things like, if you look on here, the numbers right across Fife, month on month and year on year, exactly where we were in terms of the supply in the rental market and the sale market. And then it looks at average prices and average rents compared to that as well in the charts. Interestingly enough, I then go on to say that many home sellers are even further going further by selling their home first and then going into transitional rented accommodation. This currently puts them in a pole position when the forever home comes up for sale, as they have no chain. Exactly what I just said before. So that's another corroboration to what Susan asked me and the question I answered there. So let's take a look at what we have in terms of what's been sold, what's coming onto the market, and where we are just now. So let's talk about what's sold. So we have now this sold from social media. Now the reason that we tell everybody about our sold properties, because it gives you a good strong indication about where you are with your property, if you think there'll be demand for it or not. Now this sold for a record price on social media before it even got to any websites at all. It was gone. We had loads of people looking out for this apartment. They were all wanting it, but it went to one person. It was gone like that. So if you've got a 2-bedroom lower apartment in the East Neuk area, then now's the time to sell. Record prices are being achieved for these. Another one here is Toll Road. So 41 Toll Road in Cellardyke. That's sold in 8 days. Owners are ecstatic with the whole thing, but 3 other people missed out on this. So it's key if you've got a property like this. This was a 3-bedroom, effectively a 2-reception, because it had a lounge and a dining kitchen, but it had a huge back garden in it. But this was a wonderful family home. So if you have something similar to this, please feel free to contact us. Again, we've got people that missed out. Elizabeth Place in Anstruther, that's sold in 10 days. The other people missed out on this one as well. This was a 3-bedroom upper apartment just up here, along here, and it was in the Driel. So basically, you went over the road, and you could, if the tide's out, you can cross the Driel burn on the stepping stones into Shore Street, and you're on the front, in the seafront itself, and the beach, and the Fife Coastal Path, and all the rest of it. That's the Fife Coastal Path that actually runs past that front door there. Okay, and finally, the other one that was sold this week, which will good demand, is 10 Glebe Street in Leven, and this was sold in 13 days. And we had a number of significant other people looking at this type of property. This was a 2-bedroom end terraced, and it needed a wee bit of work on it. So there is projects out there that people are looking for doing a bit of work to make it happen for them, because they want to put their own stamp on it. So if your house isn't in pristine condition, because we always go around houses and it looks like they're all in pristine condition, that's the reality. But there is markets out there, and we do have buyers out there that are looking for renovation and improvement projects to add value and possibly to rent or to live in for the first time or to then resell on. So if you've got a property like that, please feel free to contact us, because we can do something for you. Coming soon to the market, watch out for these ones. You've got to be quick. Remember, I talked about pre-portal launches, and I talked about it going quick and not even getting to a website. Remember to follow our Facebook pages. As soon as we go live, or as soon as we post something, you will get notified with a notification on your phone or your tablet or whatever it is, to tell you that we've actually done something or put an instruction on our property on, or a video on, or anything, or post. And that way you'll be the first to know what happens. So it's key you follow our Facebook pages and watch out for our posts when that happen. Windmill Court and Cellar Dyke will be coming on soon. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-reception detached bungalow. Hen's teeth, I think is the word. Bungalow. You don't get them very often. 2-bedroom, 2-reception detached bungalow. A short walk from the beach, the Cellar Dyke tidal pool, the harbour, and the Fife coastal path. Beautiful location. Crail Road in Anstruther. This is a 2-bedroom, 2-reception, 2 bathrooms as well, townhouse, and it has allocated parking right in the heart of Anstruther. Golden opportunity there for someone. Emsdorf Street in London Links, 1-bedroom ground floor apartment, a short walk again from the beach, the harbour, the Fife coastal path. Great opportunity for an investment, a holiday home, or a first-time buyer, or a downsizer that wants a ground floor apartment and just wants to refurbish it exactly how they want it, because they downsized from a big house, and now they're ready for their smaller house, which is more manageable. And Bankwell Crescent in Strathmiglo, watch out for this one, a 3-bedroom, 2-reception, 7-detached house. And I mean, Strathmiglo is an extremely idyllic village setting. It is glorious. It's good commuting links as well, going up to Perth. And we also have School View in Pitlessie. So that's a 1-bedroom terrace cottage in a desirable village. If you've ever seen Pitlessie, again, a wonderful location. The rolling hills and countryside are absolutely awesome. And finally, Eagle Road in Buckhaven. It's a 3-bedroom terraced house, which would make a great starter home or even a family home, because it is a terraced house and a good location. It's always an Eagle Road area, and the bird scheme itself is a sought-after area in the Buckhaven market. Okay, so let's talk about, finally, our valuations. Instant valuation tool is on here as usual. Let me explain what that's all about, finally, as I finish off. You go in there, it takes you 55 seconds almost. You put in your details, you put in your house details, and it gives you a rough indication, sometimes a really accurate indication about the valuation of your property. It will give you 3 different bandings. It also gives you a rental valuation as well, 3 different bandings. The top one means your house is pristine condition, it's ready to go, and you can move in straight away. You don't need to do anything to it. That is the top valuation. Middle valuation is you might want to move into the property, it's easy to move in, and you might want to change the kitchen and bathroom and decorate on the way. The bottom valuation tends to be you need a new kitchen, you need a new bathroom, and you'll probably need to decorate and carpet it beforehand. And it's all right to have any one of these valuations. You can decide which valuation you suit and which suits you, depending on what market you are. Obviously, if you're going to the rental market, you want as much as possible, and you really want to have a pristine property to rent to a tenant, because you want to attract the best tenant, to keep the highest occupancy rate, and get the best return for your investment. And you can use this tool as well for valuations to give you a rough idea about, is your mortgage loan to value? Is it a lot lower and significantly lower than when you first took out your mortgage for the first time? A lot of people out there took out the mortgage for the first time on a 90% loan to value mortgage, which meant they were a higher mortgage rate because there was higher risk for the bank. Because property prices have increased so fast and so much over the years, if you've paid down your mortgage probably as well, your loan to value probably now is sitting about 75%, maybe even below 65%. And it means you can go potentially from a 2% mortgage to a 1.5% mortgage, saving you 0.5% a month. Now, that could be quite significant, considering if you've got a high mortgage, that could be all in your pocket. It could mean another £600 a year. mean, who wants another £600 a year in their pocket? Basically for shopping around and getting the right mortgage product. So that's why our valuation tool is on there. As always, if you've got any questions, please feel free to ask me them. You can ask me them direct, you can ask me them on this post, you can message us direct, or you can contact us on our local offices or through Facebook itself, or just email us at info@fifeproperties.co.uk. And until next time, guys, I'm Jim Parker for